What's up, everybody? Old school with you, legendary bloodlines. Let's just figure out how much these guys actually make in the video game world. And for this video, we will simply just go through the highest paid video game professionals. And I made a nice little compilation here, and I organized it into a couple of groups so it would be pretty easy to figure this out. So we're going to kind of start with the highest paid professional esports player. So this is somebody that actually plays professional esports. And the number one esports player comes from Denmark, is known as No Tail, and his real name is Johan Sundstein. And so far, Johan has earned $7 million US throughout his entire career. So there you go. That's the highest paid esports player ever so far. $7 million total in earnings. Underneath that player, we have Jonathan Arteezy, and you probably recognize that name. That's a Dota 2 professional player, and his estimated annual earnings are about 1.8 million, and that's based on tournament play and sponsorships. So Jonathan Arteezy is probably coming up close to Johan for number one. And then you got Kuro Takasomi, and he is the captain of one of the most famous Dota 2 teams in the world. And so far, collectively, not annually, he's earned 4 million in prizes from tournament play and sponsorships. And the last person on the esports list is Kyle Giersdorf, and he goes by Booga, and he's a Fortnite player. And he won the biggest Fortnite World Championship win so far, which was in 2019, and that was for $3 million, a grand prize. And after Kyle won the Fortnite Championship, he got a bunch of sponsorships and all this other stuff. So he's right there on the top of the esports list too. So who's the wealthiest esports team owner? That's Jerry Jones. And that's just simply because that dude's worth close to $9 billion. He's a billionaire. He's been a billionaire forever. He owns the Dallas Cowboys. But he also owns Complexity Gaming, which is, considered America's most successful esports organization, and that was founded all the way back in 2003. So they've already been around for 20 years, and today Complexity is recognized as a global leader in esports. So there you go. That kind of wraps up the whole esports thing, and we can go right into CEOs. So who makes the most money out of the big gaming companies as a CEO? Well, I got three more names for you. Take-Two Interactive's CEO, and Strauss Zelnick's total compensation so far up to 2022, because for these CEOs, I can only get the public data for 2022 and before. I couldn't get last year yet. So Strauss was worth he's made $30.2 million just from being the CEO of Take-Two Interactive. So that's collectively. And for Electronic Arts, their CEO, Andrew Wilson, his total compensation as of 2022 was $41 million. And these are publicly reported numbers. So Andrew Wilson, just by being the CEO of Electronic Arts, has accumulated close to $42 million just from getting paid in that position. So we're not talking about net worth here or anything. This is just compensation for being a CEO. And the third on the list is going to be Activision Blizzard, obviously, right? And the CEO, Bobby Kotick, and the total compensation as of 2022, $81 million. So almost double what the second closest CEO has made in compensation from their company. So there you go. That's a whopping number, right? $81 million to get paid from your company for your position. I mean, that's a lot of money. So the highest paid game developer, who makes the most as a game dev? Well, this was kind of like an out of the ballpark figure because of Star Citizen and their crowdfunding, the way that they set up their whole economic system for the game to generate money. So Chris Roberts is the lead developer of Star Citizen. And as of right now, we have a total reported earnings of over $200 million. And that's him getting paid through crowdfunding and game sales so far. So there you go. The highest paid lead developer in the world for any video game company right now is Chris Roberts from Star Citizen. And that really only means that, you know, he's taking more probably than he should. And that's all I'll say about that. So highest paid YouTube and Twitch gamers. And this is total net worth. So Dan TDM makes between 10 million and 20 million. Vanos Gaming, same exact amount, between 10 and 20 million. Jack Septiceye, 15 to 25 million dollars. So now we're going up a little bit. Markiplier, 20 to 40 million dollars worth. And fifth and last on this list, and we're going backwards because 5 is number 1 in earnings, and that's PewDiePie. And we've got about a $50 million price tag of a total net worth for him right now. That number will float in between 40 and 50 million depending on your source, but we'll go with the high number because I'm sure it's lowballed anyways. So yeah, PewDiePie, 50 million bucks, how you doing? And you're probably wondering why Critical wasn't on the list. Penguin, Z. So yeah, there wasn't really enough information on him with public data and earnings, so he's kind of hiding what he makes, but I'm assuming he probably makes the most out of all of them. So that being said, and I watch actually Critical. So let's go to the highest paid Twitch streamer, because that last list was YouTube and Twitch, but those guys on the last list are primarily YouTube guys. So, and these are all guys. When I say guy, it's because they're literally all go by male, okay? So, highest paid Twitch streamer, and that's Tyler Blevins. And he goes by Ninja on YouTube. I'm sure that you've seen his videos. He's a Fortnite streamer, and he had an estimated peak annual earning of $30 million. And that's because of like a contract that hit and some other stuff. Ninja only makes between $100,000 and $500,000 a month on YouTube. When I say only, I mean that's kind of ridiculous. And that translates to an annual amount for Tyler of about $1.5 to $6 million annually that he is making streaming. And back in 2009, Tyler also had a deal with a company called Mixer before they shut down. And that deal was worth $30 million itself. So that's how they get that peak annual earnings, because that's the year he got the contract for $30 million. So he had the peak. And that's just Twitch streamer, like I said, because the next category, which now we're going to get into some crazy numbers, is the highest paid streaming contract, period. So this is guys that have contracts, and they're both with Kick. So, I mean, it's not really any surprise that it went like this, because Kick tried to pull some of the biggest streamers from Twitch and from YouTube, but more Twitch. And when they did that, they had to throw a ton of money for them at them for this to happen. So last year, when Kick.com launched around February, they threw $70 to $100 million for a 2-year contract at Felix Lango. And he goes by XQC. Very, very popular Twitch streamer. One of the top 5 globally, almost at all times. So XQC signed this deal, which originally the press said it was a 9-figure deal, which, yeah. So, I mean, that is $100 million. And then his agent came back and said, it's about $70 million. But now we go back about a year forward and we realize that it was about $100 million, including incentives. So that one deal is currently the highest ongoing contract that we have. Recorded. Next, same company, Kick, different streamer, Aiden Ross, super popular. Now, Aiden signed a deal recently with Kick that's supposedly worth $150 million. The thing about that number is it is not confirmed. So we don't really know if that's true or not yet. And to wrap everything up, I will say this. You can tell that there is money being made in the genre. You know, take a guess at what the percentage is of gamers that actually make enough to be considered a professional gamer. And I will say this, you need to make $10,000, that's the actual legitimate amount, for you to be considered a professional esports gamer. So, I'll say this, what is the percentage out of that group that makes in between the 10,000 and a poodoo pie that has 99% of the wealth? So if you break down the numbers overall and you take all the money, 99% of the money coming in this genre, gamers and streamers, is coming from what percent of the gamers and streamers? Well, here it is. It's 1%. Okay, so if you're thinking about being a professional gamer or streamer, you may want to reconsider this. Also, the market is saturated with people that are trying to do this. So when I give you these numbers, you have to understand that's the deal. And yeah, sorry about that. I just got a little notification. And on that note, everybody, we'll wrap it up. Have a good day, you guys.